Hear ye and welcome to the Royal Geek Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Rollison, also known as T-Roll. And tonight, you already know it, I am joined by my very good friends. First of all, we have Justin Sandoval, a.k.a. Sandy, and of course the one and only Anthony Amato, who we like to call Shamato. Boys, good to see y'all again. We got an awesome review tonight. A new Disney Plus show that is not Marvel.
That's not
which
Marvel.
Means it's going to be good.
It's got to be right.
Here to talk some Star Wars.
Yes.
Ahsoka series. How you guys feeling?
Feeling great, man.
Yep.
Feeling great. A Tuesday drop. How weird was that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
From now on.
Yeah, so it's on
Every
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, yeah.
So the funny thing is, it was Wednesday before I even thought of it,
Yeah.
and then I didn't even know that it dropped on Tuesday until Wednesday. Does that make sense?
Well, I even
Even though you sent
text
the
out
message,
on Monday.
yes,
Don't
he
think
sent
I
it out early.
don't think I saw the
Yeah, I
message.
know. You ignore me during the week. It's okay.
Yeah, it's been a long
Yeah.
week. Yeah, and then I watched it, on Thursday,
Nice.
which is I was proud of myself because as I was watching the two episodes, I was like, man, if I was cramming this in on Friday, I would be in a rough spot.
Is it because of how long it was? Like, supposed to be, a series, opening episode, unlike what Marvel does towards the end of their series.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, the first episode was 57 minutes.
Love
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Second one was 45, I believe.
42, 45,
Yeah,
somewhere
okay.
in there.
All right. Love it.
Yeah. So before we get into review, a bit of business. Just want to thank everyone for listening, for tuning in. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you are listening, and also follow us on social media at Royal Geek Pod. Leave us a review. Share this podcast with your friends. All those things help us out tremendously, so we want to ask you to do that, please. Okay. For the sake of this review, we're not going to break down one episode at a time. This is the review of both.
Everything.
Yeah.
Episode
of the
1 and 2.
premiere
Yeah.
episodes.
Which I think when a show drops like this, that's how you should do a review, because that is the way the content creator, originally meant for you to consume and break it down. Just like when Andor was like that. The three episodes were very distinctly a part of each other and were kind of separate from the rest of the series. So it was you were very much meant to break them down together.
Yeah. And obviously, I watched these first two back to back, so you really got a full story on,
Yes.
on
Yeah, me
the
too.
start of the series. So
Yeah.
it
Oh,
was-
which, by the way, spoiler alert. Spoiler
Yes,
alert.
yes.
Okay, so didn't get there yet in case anybody's listening. This is your warning. So, yeah, I think the first thing I want to say is I'm a little frustrated with you guys.
Okay, go on.
Well, so the Ahsoka series comes out, and you guys should have done it. If you guys were good friends, you would have told me to maybe watch things like Star Wars Rebels and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
What about Tales of the Jedi?
So not only did we tell you to watch Rebels and Tales of the Jedi, but I even sent a 10-minute video that summed up everything that you would need to watch.
Oh, I don't
it.
think I saw that.
Yeah, it's because you ignore my tester.
Did you really?
Yes, I sent it 3 weeks ago.
To
4
me or
weeks
to
ago.
us?
To
or
the
the
group, to the entire
I
group.
don't think so.
He's
Yeah.
like, who's this person, Ahsoka?
Yeah.
Even though I
gave
watched
you the
her
full
in-
recap of everything.
Even though I watched her in an episode of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I will say this. I'm joking, but I have watched some of the stuff, and the stuff I saw from Rebels, I clearly recognized Lothal, even that long road out
Oh,
to
yes. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
It was
there's so
great.
many things that I was like, oh, I know what that is,
Yeah, good.
So yeah, there's a ton of cool... There's a ton of cool references even to Rebels, and I'm sure more that you guys will know about that I don't.
Lots more.
So we're going to get into it. But yeah, let's just overall, why don't you guys start, the two of you,
Yeah. Okay.
overall thoughts on this series?
Well, overall,
beginning.
from the jump, though, within the first minute or two, I could just tell that it was leaps and bounds better than all the Marvel shows. Just
Yeah.
within the
Hey, what's the
first 2 minutes.
I don't even remember the first couple minutes.
Well,
were.
you got a Star Wars crawl. You got the
yeah.
title card, but then
Except it was vertical.
it wasn't going into the distance. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just straight up and down.
It was the two former Jedi, whatever they may be.
Well,
One
yeah.
of them seems like he's a former Jedi.
But even
that's right,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, but even before you get introduced to characters, you see the ship appear,
Yes.
right? And I was like, how come Star Wars shows can do CGI, but Marvel shows can't do CGI? It just blows my mind.
I was like, this looks like a Star Wars movie.
Yes,
Like,
agreed. And
it really
and
did.
that whole opening sequence was phenomenal with Balin, and
Yes.
I believe his apprentice's name was Sin, I think.
I believe so.
Or
Yeah.
Sen or Sin, I don't know.
Shin?
Shin. Oh, yeah, it might have been Shin.
I was
Yes,
kinda
it's
jo-
Shin.
Okay, good. Shin.
Oh, it's Shin.
Okay,
I was
which I
definitely
believe
joking.
I'm just going off of just pure randomness. But I'm pretty sure she was just created for the show. I don't think she actually existed in any.
I don't think so.
Any
yeah.
lore. Okay, but anyway, I was blown away within the first couple minutes about how incredible the show was.
Yeah.
And it paid off throughout the rest of the episodes.
Yeah. It was interesting because, like, even in that first scene, you're kind of getting almost elements of the relationship between, like, Obi-Wan and
for sure.
Anakin,
Yeah.
with Balin and Shin, in a way. Like, you got the kind of over, like, aggressive apprentice, and you have the more conservative, more, takes his time master.
Yeah.
So that was really cool seeing that as well.
What about you, T-Roll? What do you?
Yeah,
first impressions?
overall,
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Again, I think it was helpful. I did recognize some of the characters, and for example, everything with Sabine and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I don't understand their little drama
That's because you didn't need it.
because I didn't get that far.
Yeah.
But at least I know who Sabine is. So I felt
Yes.
thankful that I knew
Yeah.
certain things. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, good.
like I know that's where Sabine's living. That's literally Ezra's like OG house, right?
Yes.
Yep, that's
Yep,
it.
yep, yep.
So
100%.
Look, he's got it,
Yeah.
man. He's
I'm on
good.
fire, dude.
Yeah.
That's good, man. But yeah, the whole every episode had like something cool like from Rebels,
Yeah.
like whether it was in the background or something. But I did like when Sabine was in her room or whatever, and she dropped something on the floor, and so she went to pick it up, and then you saw her Mandalorian
Yes.
armor right there, and you thought that she was gonna go and like mess with it, but then like it's not. It's something
She
else.
like doesn't even like acknowledge its
Yeah,
existence.
I love the fact that was just right then.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, please pay off later.
Yeah,
Please pay off.
even later when she's attacked at the house at the crib.
yeah.
She doesn't grab that. She grabs a lightsaber.
Yep.
Yep.
Like that was just
Yeah.
cool.
Which kind of it kind of gives you a dive into where her mind is at the moment.
Yeah.
Like because it's almost like there's like an old Buddhist test that they have where like to see if you're the Dalai Lama, where they put a bunch of things out on on like a carpet, and then you're supposed to pick, and if you pick the right item that was owned by a former Dalai Lama, that's who you are. It's kind of like, or that means you are the next incarnation of him. It kind of digs into her mind, like where is she? Is she leaning towards her, potential Jedi training side? Is she leaning towards her Mandalorian past? And in this moment, she's thinking about being a Jedi.
Yeah. Oh man, so good, man. There's so many good moments in this series so far. I don't even know where to begin. Like it's so scattered.
To start with, like I didn't know how much I needed to see certain parts of Lothal in like live action. Like seeing the long road was like I was so happy when I saw that. I was like I didn't know that I needed to see that. Like seeing Ezra's old house, I didn't know like I needed to see that. Like it was just really cool seeing this stuff because even though of course I knew it was going to be leaning towards Rebel things and events like that, they're like I don't know. I didn't really make that connection that I was going to see all this stuff that was from the animated series.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was all very prominent there too.
Yes.
Like you no doubt about it. Like Sabine had a cool race scene on there to try when she was trying to get captured or
right.
brought back by Clancy Brown's character, which awesome seeing Clancy Brown and who's not voiceover a character. That's great.
Yes.
We get the mural. Like there's the murals there that has their exact from the show, which is fantastic.
Their exact likeness. Yes.
Yeah. Do they? Is there a part in the show where they put that mural up?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When you get there, you'll get there. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's good. It's very good.
Yeah.
But Ahsoka, man, when we first get introduced to her on the scene when she's walking into that temple, right? That's my
The
first
witch
scene.
temple.
Yeah, the witch temple.
Yes.
And when she pulled out the lightsabers and just like held them with the Force and then spun them around, I was like, dude, she is so amazing. Everything about her. And she makes a perfect circle and drops down. Oh,
I know it may be the most cliche statement, but for anyone who knows the animated series, Ahsoka is the best female Jedi. Like she just is.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no comparison to like any other female Jedi that we have seen in either the animated series or the
Live action, yeah.
The live action. Like it's
Yeah.
Think she's better than Rey?
Nice.
All
I
right.
like it.
So, yeah, exactly. Let me ask you this about Ahsoka, and we're bouncing all over the place. This is me just not knowing things. Does she have some like special power to read time or something? Because she was like walking, and when Sabine gets shot, Sabine's in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
She goes back to Ezra's place, and she's like walking around and hearing the dialogue that happened the night before. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, she was kind of hearing the playback of the conversation that Sabine was having.
What the hell is that? Can you guys explain that to me?
I don't know.
Is that a
I don't
new
think,
thing?
I don't think that's a thing like that we've seen before.
I haven't really seen that before. I don't know if that's her just somehow pulling at the Force in some way.
Well, so Sabine is obviously she's Force sensitive, right?
Yes.
So there's a possibility that she was just tuning into Sabine's Force
Leftover residue,
and
her being
and
there.
picked it up. Which, I mean, if Leia can pull herself out from space into a ship, you can read Force users around them.
I
Which
guess.
we've also had instances where Force voices speak to you. So like, why not?
Well, in the hospital, Ahsoka is doing the same thing with Sabine right there. Where the way I looked at it is Ahsoka is listening to like Sabine's memories. That's how I interpreted that when Sabine's like laying.
I can believe that. Like Force sensitive users are all connected. Like that's the Force. Like it's all perfect harmony.
It could be something like to the point to where when she's in this like sleep state, she's somehow connecting to the Force in a way that is more connected than if you are like just sitting in a room awake together. Mm-hmm. And because of the fact that Ahsoka was originally her master, and then so they're close in that sense. But you also have the idea of Ahsoka's a very, very well trained Force wielder, so like she may be able to dive into or like tap into the Force in that moment where Sabine is as well.
Yeah.
All right, that was interesting. I thought that was interesting.
It was very interesting the way they pulled it off. It looked cool on screen. Like I was fine with it. I mean, I didn't question it too much. I was just I don't know, enjoying the vibe, I guess I should say.
So the crux of this show so far seems to be Ahsoka's trying to find a map to Grand Admiral Thrawn. Slash Ezra.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, she seems a little more concerned with Thrawn, but
yeah,
like she does.
Yeah.
So where is Thrawn? He's in exile somewhere, but we don't know where.
Well, from what the ending of Rebels, it's
Go
more.
ahead, you could spoil it for me.
Okay. It's like
more
the world,
the
world in between worlds. Yeah. So it's like essentially a dimension.
It's a different dimension.
Yeah. Potentially a different like
quantum
universe.
realm.
Like it's kind of it's kind of like the quantum realm. Like and there's only like a certain
way to get there.
From what they're talking about right now with the map. The map is telling them how to get there. The pathway.
So, who exiled him?
Shimano. It wasn't really like it was like a freak like event, right? Wasn't it? Like
something like
it was a culmination of
Is it like the Red Skull picking up the
things.
Tesseract and he disappears on accident kind of thing?
I mean, it wasn't really initiated by an. Was it initiated by an object? Like,
no, but that seemed
so.
random.
No,
that wasn't anybody that did that.
No, it was kind of like that. It was like a culmination of a lot happening.
Yeah,
and it just happened.
But
it's Ezra leading.
But
the
now,
charge.
if you're Ahsoka, wouldn't you think that it's good that he's gone?
Yeah, but Ezra's there too with him, and that's the last of that they saw. It was Thrawn and Ezra going into this the world between worlds. That was the last they saw.
So she's going to risk saving. She's going to risk unleashing Thrawn to save Ezra.
Here's the thing. No, she got information from Morgan Elsbeth about them looking for Thrawn, and so she wants to prevent that.
Yeah, she's trying to stop people who are, and I think she didn't like the fact that Ezra was closed off in that that door was closed to Ezra, but she understood that it was a necessary evil in that moment, that they were both on the other side. Well, she's starting to find out that there's other people looking to open that doorway, and I think she sees it as kind of the way she sees it is she absolutely doesn't want Thrawn to come back.
Yeah,
but if there's a possibility of saving Ezra, she's okay with it. But she also understands that if on the other side somehow Ezra isn't there in a way, that it would be extreme. It would be the idea of they've lost Ezra for nothing.
Yeah.
Like if Thrawn comes back without Ezra.
So the Star Wars movies, they are perfect for the opening crawl of the letters, title sequence going. They give you a plot point and they explain it out of what's happened. We haven't actually seen it. So in the opening crawl for Ahsoka, it says that she caught word that some group after the Empire fell is looking to reestablish the new Empire with Thrawn, and they're on a hunt for Thrawn. And she captured Morgan because.
We saw that in Mandalorian.
We saw that in Mandalorian. So, and we got a little bit of the Thrawn. Like, that's how we knew in Mandalorian she dropped it like the last couple seconds of the episode where she was like something about Thrawn.
Yes.
So yes, then we got all that happening. So, I mean,
okay,
there's information about somebody's wanting Thrawn back, and so she's trying to find that.
She wants to open that door before someone else does.
Yes. There you go.
Okay. Great. Explain to me how serious this Thrawn guy is, how serious of a threat he is. Why is this such a big deal?
Thrawn is essentially probably the most intelligent Imperial officer who they've ever faced in any of the versions. He is also one of the few Imperials who is willing to actually understand who he's going up against. So you see people like Tarkin, and he looks down on the rebels. He underestimates the rebels and things like that in the movies.
Yeah.
As you're seeing that. Thrawn doesn't do that. Thrawn is very much he wants to know everything about his enemy. He is, you're going to hate this reference, but he's like essentially like the Lex Luthor of the Star Wars universe, in the sense that he is a brain. He is all about getting every edge that he can get. He wants to know everything. He wants to know any potential weakness. Like when he's given a mission and he comes to a new alien planet, he isn't like, okay, we're going to destroy everything here. We're going to come in. We're invaders. He wants to know everything about that culture. He wants to be able to destroy them from the inside out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Very good tactician, strategist.
Yes.
Like he's
pretty
lethal with that style of fighting.
He's not a he's not a physical threat.
He's not a powerhouse. No,
cool.
He's not like
my kind of villain.
He's not a Thanos that'll come at you
with
a freaking gauntlet. No,
it's great. He's not going to try to wield the Darksaber.
Correct. Yeah.
He's going to use his mind. He understands. So unlike Moff Gideon, he understands that he would not be able to accurately control the Darksaber. But what Thrawn would be more likely to do is find someone who can wield it and then manipulate them into doing his bidding. That would be the Thrawn way to go at things.
Yeah. When you actually see him, you're going to be like, whoa, holy crap.
Yeah. But will we see him?
Yes, we're obviously going to see him.
Isn't that kind of the joke, right? Like, is he actually going to show up?
He's in the trailer.
Didn't Moff Gideon even say that himself?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, in the last Mandalorian series?
Will he even show up? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Is he coming or what?
Yeah. You're talking about him.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So she gets the map. She needs Sabine's help, which it was what's old girl's name?
Hera?
Hera.
Hera
Sorry.
Syndulla.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Hera's the one who says, "Go get Sabine's help."
Yep.
Yes.
And then Hu Yang is
dude,
David Tennant, man.
Yeah, talk about him.
So happy that he's back. I know.
Yeah.
Just David Tennant in general. I'm a massive fan.
Yes.
It was great to see. He's one of the best droids, I think. Like he's like top.
He's like an
top
ancient
10,
droid,
top
right?
10.
He is like a really old droid.
He's a droid from the Rebel Temple, or I'm sorry, Jedi Temple.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know, right?
So it's really long.
Although he's right next to probably a top 3 droid. Like, Chopper is legitimately
Chopper action and
like. Hold on, don't get the Chopper yet. Let's say, how do you say it, Hu Yang?
Yeah, Hu Yang.
All right, but he's legit old. I mean, he even made a joke where he's like, over 70% of his parts are still original.
Still original parts.
I thought that was really, really awesome. So is he kind of like a wise sage droid?
Well, he helped train the younglings in the Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
Like he guided them and was like right alongside, like kind of like an in-house nanny for the most part. Like raised them up.
So did he just escape from? Well, I guess they weren't attacking droids at Order 66.
Right, they didn't attack droids in Order 66, but he's a cool character. You'll see that play out a little bit more.
Now, seeing Chopper in live action was awesome. This is the first time we've ever seen it, right?
We saw Chopper. No.
Yeah, I think this is the first time outside of like a
live
trailer.
action.
You're right.
Yeah.
Gosh, dude.
Yeah. What was that like for y'all? 'Cause I know
Chopper was phenomenal, man.
Yeah, I love Chopper. Like he's so awesome. He's
just
a top 3.
Just when he's like looking in this little toolbox and he's like looking for stuff.
She's like looking under the battery, the spare battery.
He's like, oh yeah, like
and I love how he his murmurs. You can hear
Yeah,
you can hear him be like, he's kind of like, what are you doing there?
Yeah,
you know, like you
like
kind of
Kenny.
make
He's
it.
Kenny.
Yeah, he's Kenny. Yes.
That's funny. That's Dave Filoni voices Chopper, right? Like
I believe so. Yeah,
that's what I thought too. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
He's not afraid to kill people too.
No,
he's straight up just
Chopper
like,
goes hard.
I
hope we see that too. I hope we do.
Yeah, he's got a crazy
little mean side
death
to
count.
him.
I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way more than R2, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool.
So yeah, that was cool to see. I really enjoyed the Sabine storyline in these combo episodes here. She's kind of she's Ezra. She misses Ezra, right?
Yes.
Like she is all about that, and she doesn't know where to do with her life. Like she has no purpose, right? It's like kind of up in the air. And then Ahsoka comes in and like she kind of wants to be with her, but then she's like, well, she doesn't respect me. Like that whole dynamic.
Yeah. I
think Rosario Dawson and Sabine actress, which I didn't look it up, my bad. They had good chemistry. Like they played that confrontational mentorship role very well.
Much so. Yeah.
And it was cool to see.
Yeah, I think and there's a lot of like to unpack in their relationship and especially with Ezra being out of the picture. I think in some ways Sabine kind of but I think also like Sabine kind of sees herself as almost like the silver medal in this situation because although Ezra's real master was more Kanan, like Ahsoka was very much there in the same way, and I think Sabine sees it a little bit as like, well, Ezra is gone, so like I'm just kind of like the next option.
Yeah.
Like so she doesn't.
Yeah, only because I am.
Because I'm here. Like I'm just I'm just the person who is here in a lot of ways. So I think that's kind of playing out as well. And I think there's moments in there like even the fact that she didn't want to be at that ceremony is like kind of showing her hurt because I think she kind of feels like she doesn't want to be given this praise because it's kind of like the idea of, the real heroes are the ones who aren't here, and like that kind of idea, like the fact that Ezra is trapped in this way, but she's still here being able to be, lavish with this praise, and she doesn't know how to take this because she's seen loss and,
Dang, dude, so good, man. A lot of good character development going on in the show so far, even just from the jump.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think another scene that stood out to me. That was, we mentioned the temple scene in the beginning, but those droids when they self-destructed. How about that fire wave?
Yeah.
That was really cool to see, man. Like
it also took them forever to blow up.
I know. If they would have done it sooner, then she'd have been toast.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna give you a 20-second head start.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that was a crazy bomb.
It was.
Trying to think. So Balin.
Oh yeah.
Skull.
Yes, Balin Skull. Yeah.
What a name. So what's his story? Like it sounded like Huang mentioned.
So Balin is in the extended universe of Star Wars, like the books and stuff.
Okay.
I'm not 100% familiar with him, but from what I gathered was that he was a young Jedi in training, and he separated from the temple, and he went on his different path. That's basically what I gathered.
And he went to the dark side.
He's not necessarily like he even mentions it here. He's like, well, I'm not a Jedi, but like he's not a Sith either. Like there's a clear.
He's a mercenary,
essentially. Yes.
He's for hire.
You can hire him, and but he was a cool character, man. But rest in peace, Ray Stevenson.
Yeah,
yeah. So did they finish recording?
Yeah, they finished everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So whatever's gonna happen happens.
Yeah.
So there is no season 2 for him. Let's put it that way.
So cross fingers. Hopefully, something really cool happens with this character and ends up like
I like his character.
I like his character. Yeah.
This character hopefully gets knocked off.
I actually like Shin too. Like she was kind of cool, man. The Sabine her fight was.
You could tell
really
she's not trusting of
Balin.
Not Balin. Well,
the witch
she might
too.
Be the witch. What's the witch's name?
Morgan Elsbeth.
Morgan Elsbeth.
All right, can we talk about this witch?
Yes.
For a little bit.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Dude, I'm getting serious. Like, I do not care about her at all. They are. I don't know.
She's just gonna be the catalyst to get to throne. That's all.
I hope so. Yeah. Because she is just so there's nothing there for me. It's just like I hate sometimes the Star Wars villains can be just bland.
Yeah, she's a little bland. It's funny because
just here's what it is.
Yeah,
super serious. She's super serious.
She's too serious
about everything.
Yeah, I can see that. that. Well, you gotta like she's a witch, so like, I mean, I feel like their whole shtick is like they are like kind of like even there's a little bit of seriousness even to the playfulness in Agatha. Like there was still some like over the topness.
Here's my thing, man. Like we all know who the greatest villain of all time is, right? In anything.
Joker?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, whew.
Yeah. So obviously, that's the scale, right? I'm not. I told this to my mother-in-law and my wife when we were watching this. I don't need every Star Wars villain to be like literally the Joker.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I just need them to have somewhat of a tad bit of personality.
Yeah.
Because like even I made this point in my opinion, Count Dooku is not a great villain. But he had like a little bit of like cheekiness where I appreciated it. The freaking Emperor is extremely cheeky. He was undercover for I don't know how long, right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
I just need a little bit more personality from my villains.
Yeah.
And she is just bland, like I'm evil for being evil's sake, and I'm just like I don't like it.
He might not like Thrawn then.
Maybe,
but okay.
Thrawn is really awesome. Like he has that. He kind of drips.
No, but even what you said, like him respecting his enemies, like that's something that's
different.
That's different.
Yeah.
Where like I either need you to be have a little bit of cheekiness to you,
or be extremely calculated,
or be like super calculated, where you're always a step ahead. Kind of like Moff Gideon was kind of like that for me, and every time we've seen him so far, he wasn't like playful or cheeky.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't need you to go over the top with it, but a lot of Star Wars villains are just like super serious.
Yeah, that's true. Like like Maul. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of. I don't know, man.
It's all good, man.
It's just sometimes it's too.
She won't be around for long. Don't worry.
Good.
Don't worry.
I don't like her at all, dude.
Yeah.
Or even just like
she does seem like she's gonna be a means to an end.
Yeah.
I hope that Shin takes her out. They're sowing seeds for that right now.
Maybe Thrawn takes her out.
Yeah, I could see Thrawn just being like, I don't need a Night Sister.
What took you so long?
Yeah, how dare you take
I don't know. I could not care. If she ends up being around for a while, I'm gonna be talking about this every week. I can't wait for her head to get chopped off or something.
Well, hopefully next week's the last week for her. So we'll see. We will see. How about when they go to like the old shipyard where they're like taking out some stuff? There was a reference in there to old Republic video game with the HK-47 droid. They mentioned the HK series droids, but in the video game, that was where it made his first debut was as an assassin droid, HK-47.
Yeah,
and they mentioned that the HK droid is the one that took the ship.
Yeah,
and that's what sparked the whole thing. But HK is not mentioned in any live action anything or any animated series, and the only thing it's mentioned in is the Old Republic. And here we go, and we're gonna get a live action version hopefully soon. So that's pretty cool.
Wow,
yeah,
that is so cool.
That's a wild. That's a 20-year reference right there. That's insane.
There you go. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, we'll show you pictures later. I'll show you pictures later. So. But yeah,
it's just another type of like assassin droid, basically. Like the IGs, similar, which we've seen a decent bit of now.
Yeah,
that scene was cool. Where clearly, old boy with the iPad, like he did not want them there.
Nope,
he did not want Hera and Ahsoka like asking all these questions, and he is just trying to get them off the scent.
Yeah. And well, we get that cool scene of Hera and Chopper flying after the ship, and then at the exact same time, we get Ahsoka at the bottom fighting one of the Night Brothers, I guess what they are. What do you call it? Right, first brother, or second brother, or Malik is what they called it. Malik. That's what they called him.
Is that a droid or is that a person?
That was a person.
Just
who's under the helmet.
His
name was Malik, but I believe it was like a Night Brother.
Malik.
I believe.
It's a cool name for Star
I don't know.
Wars.
We'll see. We'll see what he turns out to be.
I mean, it would sort of make sense because they're the Night Sisters,
right.
So I don't know. Maybe there's something cooler to him than that.
Yeah, well, maybe he's somebody under the helmet. I don't know.
Yes,
we'll see. And that's all up in the air. But that was a cool fight scene, and especially like when he was dipping out to get out of there, like he threw his thing like it was a boomerang, and then Ahsoka moves a little bit out of the way, and it goes right by.
That
her.
was cool.
That was awesome.
That was great.
What I loved about that scene was how casually she moved out of the way.
Not even.
It was like the simplest thing. It was like if you were just walking down the street and somebody was kind of wanting their shoulder was about to, you just kind of like,
no big deal.
Just dipped out of the way just a little bit.
No big deal.
Just enough.
Just a little dip.
Yeah, like this isn't a lethal weapon coming at me. It's literally just.
Yeah. It was great.
Gosh, which was super cool.
And then like emotional beats of the episode when we had the fight and Sabine gets stabbed. I'm like, oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Like at the end of the first episode, I was like, are they really going to kill her off right here? Like,
and then you remembered that you can survive a lightsaber stab now,
unless you're Qui-Gon.
You got to remember, a lot of time has passed since then.
You're like
technology is
medicine
advanced.
has advanced quite a bit.
Qui-Gon's probably like, why did you do this to me? Well, back to tanks weren't invented until like. That's so sad, dude.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon's probably
when
so
I saw
pissed.
that, I was like, no, I bet they're gonna save her. I bet she's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Sure enough,
I said, holy crap, they're killing her the first episode, and then
you got played. It's okay. I usually get played.
It's all good.
Yeah.
My wife was the one who was like, she's not dead.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're
I'm
right.
with
You're
her.
probably right. But yeah, no, that was a cool fight scene, and then Ahsoka goes back, and the droid is like still hiding there. And
Yeah,
she just like takes the head off, and that's how they find out where to go.
So what was the droid doing there? Just
Probably trying to wait for somebody
Sabine?
to come back. Yeah, to insurance to make sure that nobody saw the information on that map beforehand and come after them.
Yeah, it was probably like they were left there to just see if anyone was going to follow up on what happened with Sabine.
Yeah,
is probably what it was. But I also, once again, like the Ahsoka, like her line there was just phenomenal. I was like, I was hoping you would be. I was hoping you would be here.
So good.
Like,
yeah, that's just again that feels kind of a little lazy to me. Like maybe they're just not. They weren't thinking it through, but like they literally left a droid that has its own memory, that can be accessed.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Overall, the show's been awesome so far.
Oh, yeah. So good.
I'm very intrigued about the mystery of finding Thrawn and Ezra. Obviously, whenever they show up, that'll be some epic, reveal.
yes.
What if they're like best buds now? Because they're in exile together.
I hope not.
But what does that look like? Like Ezra's just been running from Thrawn in the exile world or something, or
maybe he's been being tortured this whole entire time. Maybe he got
Possibly.
captured. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. That's I don't know. It's cool. We'll
I
see.
don't know what to expect. So
Maybe he's been brainwashed, and we've already seen him.
Yeah. Oh, didn't you mention Sabine just hanging out with the Loth cat? Like,
Yes.
that's so cool, dude.
yeah, my dog was going crazy.
Yeah, my dog does too.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, get the heck out of here, man. It's
Get
fake.
outta here.
It doesn't even look real. It doesn't even. That's so cool.
It looks real enough.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we missing? There's probably more we're missing.
Okay, so the scene where the witch is showing the map in the like ruins and relics, and Balin's like, who constructed these? Like, I thought that was kind of a cool scene. And she's just kind of like, oh, it's like before time, like that kind of thing. And then they kind of go into the description of like the dimension, the world between worlds. They don't actually say world between worlds, but that's what we're gonna know it as. But what it is, she kind of gives like a little bit of a dialogue on that. I just thought that was a good scene because Balin was like, oh, whoa, like this is kind of cool stuff.
Cool how like the map kind of got bigger all around them.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, and then the other dialogue with all three of them when they're on the ship, and she's like, "What do you see?" Like, and Balin's like, "Ahsoka's coming. Like, she's coming for."
Yeah, and
She'll be here. Like,
I liked when that witch lady. What's her name again? I don't even.
Morgan Elsbeth.
Yeah.
Morgan what?
Elsbeth.
Mm-hmm. I don't even care about her name. So when Morgan, I'm just gonna call her by her first name.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when Morgan's
Lady
like,
Morgan is what Balin called her. Yeah.
Lady Morgan.
Yeah.
Great, I'll call her Lady Morgan. So when Lady Morgan says to kill Ahsoka, and he said Balin says it'll be sad to see her go.
Such
So
a good
few Jedi left.
Yeah.
And she says sentimental, like she's asking him.
Yeah.
And he just says truth. And I really like his character where he's like,
So cool.
he doesn't really want to kill Jedi. He doesn't want to kill force sensitive people. So it's like it's just kind of sad that another one's gonna have to go. Is the way he.
Yeah.
But if the dollar's right, I'll do it.
Yep. He kind of sounds like he's like Gray in a way, like because we haven't really seen that represented in anything
He's
that's
like a bounty hunter.
Yeah, well, but like there's legitimately like, so we think of the Force as a pretty diametrically opposed, setup where you have the light of the Jedi and you have the dark of the Sith.
Yeah.
But there is this whole legitimate section that middle ground of who are known as like Gray, who don't lean either way. Yeah. They're down the middle, very much so. They don't fall into the Jedi Order. They don't fall into the Sith either. And they just they're that. So he may be the first like real representation of
have we
that.
Had a character like that?
No.
Well, maybe I would kind of say that Rey can tap into both because she was able to use, lightning.
Yeah, but I feel like he's a real representation of the Gray in the sense of
for sure.
Whereas she, although she could tap into both,
Rey ain't Gray, bro.
The sequel trilogy would have been better if she was tapped into more of the dark side.
It would have been better if she just went dark.
Yeah, but even Balin.
Don't get me started on
even
that,
Balin and Shin's lightsabers, like they're not fully red, and they're not like lighter. They're like they're orange, obviously. Like they're right in the middle.
Really,
like, they're
not red.
Yeah, they were not red. They're orange.
Huh.
Yeah,
maybe I'm just so used to seeing a bad guy have a red saber.
Yeah, which they're not. So that's why it
looked red to me because I'm just it's red. Like I didn't even look hard enough.
Yeah, so you'll check it next time.
All right, I'll watch it next time.
But yeah, it's more in the middle. So it's not fully
evil,
but
it's
it's
not
not fully
the Knight
good.
brother? That looked red. Are you saying that wasn't
No,
red?
his was red.
His was
red. Yeah,
okay.
That means he's fully like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, deal.
Dude, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
I did like this is how you know it's Dave Filoni's hand is that the titles of the episode kind of had like juxtapositions, like Master and Apprentice. You could clearly be like that's Balin and Shin, but
It's
in all
also
actuality, it's Ahsoka and Sabine. And then same with the toil and trouble.
Yeah.
Like obviously, both sides had toil and trouble like going on.
Yeah.
Like it was like two sides of the coin.
And of course, just like the whole, she's a Night Sister, which is a type of witch, and that's a very common witch phrase. Toil and trouble.
Yeah.
So that was a nice little extra touch on it.
Is there going to be a second season? Do we know yet?
We don't know yet.
We're not sure yet. Okay.
But after these first
Do we
two
know how
episodes,
many episodes
I'll
there
send
are?
it. There are 8.
8.
So we get 6 more weeks.
Yes.
Sweet. Love it.
So not 4 like certain other universes would do us.
Gosh,
6
dude.
more weeks of Ahsoka.
It's gonna go by fast too.
Yeah, it
and,
will.
Dude, buckle up. All our listeners right now, buckle
Yeah, because
up.
Andor took like 3 months. Well, no,
Well,
'cause
Andor
they
was
dropped the first
12,
3.
wasn't it?
It was 12 episodes, but they dropped the first 3.
Oh
so.
yeah, that's right.
But anyways,
Or was it 16? Was it 16?
no,
It was not that much.
Just 12.
All right.
Because it was wasn't it 4 different 3-episode arcs, or was it 3 different 4-episode arcs, or something like that?
Yeah. But okay, I'm excited though. It's been a great series.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for more.
Can you say it's been a great series so far? What makes a series?
It's going to be a series. Like
Right,
it's a
but
series.
but not yet.
So far,
Right.
after 2 episodes,
But
I can tell.
mathematically speaking,
I can tell that this is going to be a great
You
series.
can't say that yet.
I'm willing to put all the chips in right now and saying this is going to be one of the best shows.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be really good. I'm not doubting it, by the way.
Yeah.
I might
Now,
sound a little sassy.
if I come down and they do like some crazy Marvel stuff, I'm gonna be so pissed. I promise you right now, I will burn Disney down. I promise you this.
I think they'll be good.
Yeah.
I think the Star Wars just like kind of knows
Filoni
what
don't
it's-
miss. Filoni don't miss.
They just know what they're doing right now in these universes. Because I mean, their weakest run so far has at least been, pretty, at least average to above average. Their weakest season so far that they've had of a show.
Agreed.
And everything else has been like top tier.
Yeah. By the way, has Ahsoka in all the animated stuff? I'm sure there's episodes of different things where she's probably young and
Yeah.
and more emotional.
In Clone Wars, she's 14. So
Yeah.
yeah.
She's super young, yeah.
But is she emotional? Because like she is so stoic in this.
Yeah.
Where I'm,
She's grown a lot.
Yeah, but like
A lot.
And again, I get you're being like Obi-Wan and you're calculated and calm, but like she doesn't seem bothered by anything. You know what I'm saying?
She's lived through a lot. She was definitely more emotional when she was younger. And I think she's also seen what giving into that emotion leads to. Like, with
there's even
Anakin.
that reference in the show that she talks about Anakin.
Yes.
Like,
because we think about the Obi-Wan Anakin relationship, but like very, very close. Like relationship was her relationship with Anakin. They were very close in the same right. Maybe not as strong as probably the Obi-Wan Anakin, but yeah, very strong.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're just
Can't
curious.
wait, man. Cannot wait.
Well, come on back next week for our review of episode number 3 of the Ahsoka series. We'll be here to talk about it. Let me think. Oh, yeah. Follow us on social media at Royal Geek Pod. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Share this podcast with your friends. And be sure to tune back in for our review of episode 3. So with all that in mind, for my good friends Sandy and Shamato, this is T-Roll saying thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast. We will see you next time, you peasants.